is the quarterback of the 2022 Commanders on your roster right now?
That's part of what we're working through. Can the guys that we have on the roster ascend to be that kind of guy? Is that guy out there in the draft? Is he in free agency? Can we make a trade for a guy? Those are the things that we're working through right now. And I know this because, Martin Mayhew, Marty Herney, those guys, they're working on these things right now. And when we get back, that'll be one of the topics of conversation as we prepare for the combine.
So are you already grinding tape on kids at the college level, getting some footage back from the Senior Bowl, things like that?
Yes, we have.
Okay.
We were represented at every one of these bowl games, these college bowl games. We had guys watching, particularly the quarterback position, and really working through these things. And like I said, we're not going to just stop on the college level. We're going to look at the free agents. We're going to look and see what else is out there for us.
Okay. And so what do you do now in this offseason at the combine and things of that nature? Walk me through what your role is as the HC of the WC here. What do you got?
The biggest thing we do, more so than anything else, that I think is one of the most important things is when you get an opportunity to interview the players. We interview them a little differently, I think, than some of the teams.
What do you mean?
Well, one of the things we like to do is we like to incorporate tape. We want to hear them talk about what's on tape. We try to gauge as much as we can.
Showing them their plays from the last year, or how far back do you even go with this?
We'll go to last year. It's not all good. We're looking for things. We're listening for certain answers. And so as we go through that process, that helps us. It really does. And then, once we decide which guys we want to bring in, we'll do the same thing. When we're allowed to have the visits, and hopefully we're allowed to have the visits in person. I'd much rather visit in person. And if we can fly guys into our city and give them an opportunity to sit down and talk to them and listen to them and then show tape and go through that as well. Because you really can't prepare for all the tape. They can prepare for the Q&A. Okay, they can rehearse all that, but they can't look at all their tape and be able to answer all those questions.
You have a good example of maybe someone you drafted anywhere that you've done this with?
We did it with
the answer from the tape was just like, okay.
Yeah. We did it with Cam Newton and because when I was in Carolina and he was our first pick.
Yeah.
And we sat down and we showed the highlights obviously, but then we saw some of the lowlights. And one of the things that I always appreciated about Cam was he took responsibility right off the bat. And as soon as the play came on, he put that big smile on. He said, "Oh, that was my fault." And I watched the tape, and I kept thinking to myself, I don't know if that was your fault, because I thought that receiver could have pushed that a little bit higher. But he had thrown it, and it was one of the few interceptions he threw that year. Mm-hmm. But he just had that smile and took that responsibility, and he said, "Yeah, I could have put that out in front of him a little bit more." So when you get guys that want to take responsibility, when you get guys that want to take the pressure off their teammates, that's an important thing. That really is. But right away, he looked at the tape and said, "Oh, you know what? They came out, they were in cover 2, and I threw that ball out over there, and the corner was able to work underneath it." And I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, but that guy could have pushed it. Instead of running a flatter, 7, he should have taken it higher. Mm-hmm. And so you get that sense that he understood, he knew. At the same time, though, he didn't want to put it on his guy. He took the hit, and so I that was impressive to me.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.